All right, so the reason that I did that review and talked about patterns is I have a very hard time with memorizing things. So when I'm asked to do a task that, let's say, perhaps I haven't done in a while or I'm just learning, it's a lot more helpful, at least for me, to be able to see where did I start from. So if I was tasked with if I was tasked with factoring and I wasn't so sure, that's why I would start with multiplying the factors or any two factors and kind of seeing what were those patterns. So the pattern that we saw is that we saw that my last term, this -8, it came from these two factors being multiplied together. So I'm going to circle that and I'm going to say my factors are 8 and 1 and 2 and 4. Okay, so just like we factored before. I also know, so what's the same is that I also know that when I multiply the insides together and I add that to the outsides being multiplied, I know that I have to end up with my middle term of 2x. So that's what's the same, okay? And the part that we talked about that's different is that now I have this 15x squared. Okay, so I need to come up with two numbers that multiply to also give me that 15. So all three of these things need to happen. Okay, so the factors of 15, I could have 3 and 5. And I'm also, and this is important, I'm also going to change the order and do that it also could be 5 and 3. 15 and 1 could work, but I'm just going to guess that 15 is probably not going to be what's going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to now put in my different combinations. So I'm going to try 3 and 5 with, let's say, 2 and 4. Okay, so I need to get my green. All right, so let's just try this. 2 and 4. And again, I'm not putting negatives because I'm really trying to see, do I add or subtract in order to get this 2x? So right now I have 10x. And out here, I have 3 times 4 is 12x. I actually really lucked out here. So I wasn't looking at the left, so I'm pretending I don't know those factors. But so I'm going to see, is there any way that I can add and subtract these? Well, yeah, if this is a negative 10x plus 12x gives me 2x. So that works. So this means this has to be negative. Also important, you don't want to put the negative signs in front of these coefficients. Okay, so your negatives are just going to come from these two factors. So that means this one has to be positive. Okay, so let me check on the left to make sure we got it. We did, and we just happened to get the right order. So that's my final answer. So let's box that up. Okay, we're going to do some more examples, but that's at least how I factor. So I take what I already know and I just add one more thing. So I took what I already knew from factoring when it's just x squared, and the only additional thing is that there's a coefficient in front of this x squared. So when I list the factors of the coefficient in front of the x squared, I do the set and also flip it so that I have both combinations. So let me write out combinations that we could have tried for this one, but we didn't. So I could have had 3x over here, and then I have the 5x on the other side, okay, and I could have taken 4 and 2. So that could also have been a possible combination. So let's check it. 4 times 5x gives me 20x, and 3x times 2 gives me 6x. And there's no way I can add or subtract those together to give me a 2x. All right, this was a short video, but I just kind of wanted to show you how, or at least my method of factoring. And I recognize there are a lot of different methods out there. And then in the next video, we're going to do some practice problems together.